Hola, it's Jessica here. I want to show you how to sew a Valentine's love heart. Yes, I said sew. If you're looking for the paper version of how to make this, I did do a video for that as well because I made some for my daughter's classmates, and I like to do those videos on classmate gifts, and so go ahead and check that out. So some of you might be familiar with a paper woven love heart. I was always interested in trying to do a sewn version of it. So the sewn version is very different from the paper version. However, the weaving part is very similar, but then there are also steps at the end for the sewn version that you wouldn't have to do for the paper version. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Don't forget to thumb it, sub it, speak it, and spread it. Hit the notification button, and let's just get right into it.
So I'm going to be using an old Air Force uniform. First I had to deconstruct the uniform to get flat pieces of fabric. If you're going to use quilting fabric for this project, you might need to consider using fusible stabilizer to stiffen the fabric up. You would need 6 strips of 3-inch by 8-inch rectangles. Make a total of 7 if you want to include a strip as your basket handle. I did 3 in one print and 4 in the other print, with one of those being the basket handle. I pressed them in half to create the creases down the center length of the fabric. I pressed in on both sides 1/4 of an inch to create my hem. I placed a few pins to keep it in place. I actually lost the footage somehow, but you just sew down both sides of the strip to close the strip, and the other side is more decorative, but it just evens out the strip when you're done. I'm using a scrap piece of paper and fold it in half. And then I made a 2.25-inch by 3.5-inch rectangle on the fold. And you just want to draw a curve from the folded edge corner to the opposite corner. I drew it freehand, but you're welcome to use an object to make your curve. Then cut out your curve. You will need 8 of these half circles. If you're using my measurements, this half circle includes a 1/4 inch seam allowance already in, so you don't have to add anything. I did 4 in one pattern and 4 in another pattern. Take 2 from each pattern and iron up a 1/4 of an inch towards the wrong side of the fabric. So 2 half circles right sides together along the curve only. One of the half circles needs to be a half circle with a 1/4 inch ironed up. I use my pinking shears to clip the curve to take out some of the bulk of the fabric, and then you're going to turn right sides out. You're going to have a little flap on one side. This is okay, you need this. Place the wrong sides of your strip, if you have a wrong side, on the right sides of the half circle that has the flap. So it starts to get tricky these next few steps, but just take your time. I would suggest repeating this step for the opposite end before moving on. Sew the strips down to the half circle's open flap without catching the opposite half circle that's ironed up. You'll need to move it out of your way as you sew. Flip the strips into the half circle. You'll need to press them in place. It took me a little bit of maneuvering to get it to lay correctly, so just take your time. Pin in place. Sew all the way around the half circle. So you're going to sew the strips down and then top stitch the rest of the half circle. Repeat for the opposite end and repeat for the other half of your heart. Here's what it looks like when you're done, and you'll see you'll need 2 of these done to complete a heart. I drew this not so good drawing, but I wanted to label it 1 through 6 so that I can reference it for you, so that would be easier to understand the weaving explanation, because it can get kind of confusing. It's now time to weave it together. Fold both of your half hearts in half. This is not over, under, over. This is between. So you're going to have to put them in between. This is why you folded it in half. So number 1 goes between number 4. Number 5 goes between number 1. Then number 1 goes between number 6, and your top row is weaved. Number 4 goes between number 2. Number 2 goes between number 5, and number 6 goes between number 2. So now your second row should be weaved. So for your last row, number 3 goes between number 4, number 5 goes between number 3, and number 3 goes between number 6. And you're done with the weaving. and then adding the handle. So essentially I just made another strip and then turned that into the handle. I sewed the raw edges up so that they won't be shown, and then I placed it in the middle inside of the heart and I tacked it down, and then I repeated for the other side. So now you want to tack down all the points of contact between your half circles, and this will just ensure that it stays together. Since it's not a paper weave, it's not going to be as tight because you're dealing with fabric that is more flexible. So putting tacks where all the half circles meet is ideal. I went ahead and tacked down like every joint just so that nothing slips out, but really it wasn't necessary now that I'm done. You can choose to do everything, but if not, just do the half circles, and you can do a hand tack or a machine tack. I did both.
I love the way that these came out. Since it's Valentine's Day, please celebrate the love that you have for yourself, for God, and for others around you. Happy Valentine's Day. Jesus loves you. It's Him and nothing else. God bless.
Happy ending. But you just love you.